Hello and welcome to the Cabana Boys Podcast, episode number 9. Today we have two of our Scottsdale Cabana Boys, Eli and Rob. We're very excited to learn more about them and how they got involved with the boys. But before we do that, I want to touch on our mobile experiences. We've got 3 party buses and 1 party boat as a part of our repertoire. In Scottsdale, we've got the Old Town Party Bus, 2 Cabana Boys on the bus, serving drinks, having fun, dancing, touring around Old Town. We also have a party bus, not called Old Town Party Bus, but a separate one in Austin and Nashville. Very similar experience, but with our Cowboys, more open air party bus as well. So you're driving down Broadway, down 6th Street, having a great time. And then we just launched a party boat on Lake Austin. This is a really fun experience for 3 or 4 hours. You're going out on Lake Austin, going swimming, stopping by Party Cove, doing the whole lake experience with our Cowboys. So you can book on our website. I hope to see y'all there soon. Let's get to you guys, Eli and Rob. You guys want something to drink?
Please.
All right. Let's break open the Cabana Boys cooler. All right. So just you can either take one at random or pick and choose. It's up to you. I have a bottle opener here if you need it.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Some Kona Big Wave?
Oh, you guys both want bottles.
I was going to take the Kona. But,
Do you want the Kona?
Kona's great.
I got it first.
I used to live there, you know?
Really?
Yeah, for about a year and a half.
What island?
Big Island.
Oh, I guess Kona's on the Big Island. That makes sense. Well, I guess that's a good start. Eli, tell us about yourself.
About how I got started with Cabana Boys? Or?
Just Hawaii, Cabana Boys, just more about you.
Hawaii, so that was pretty fun. Probably I'm happy now, but I was definitely easier to be happy in Hawaii. That was I just turned 18, not a worry in the world, man. That was great. And then I, realized what being an adult was. So, but I moved out of. I guess I graduated high school a bit early, moved out at 17.
Okay.
Decided to lifeguard in Texas for a year.
Okay.
After that, I, didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up, so I joined the Coast Guard. I got stationed in Hawaii, lived on a boat. That was pretty tough.
Okay.
Went to a Coast Guard helicopter rescue swimmer school. Thought it was so fun. I decided to fail out of that. So I did it a second time.
My experience with the Coast Guard is that Ashton Kutcher movie, and that's kind of it. Right?
Well,
how do you fail out of a Coast Guard school? Is it like a physical thing or attendance or?
Well, attendance, you would probably go to jail if you didn't show up.
Okay.
But for me, I'd say it was a mental barrier. So the test that got me out it's halfway through training. Week 12 that's the turning point in school where it's just kind of hard up at that point. And then that's where you're really challenged. And it was a mental barrier for me, I think, honestly. It was the one-man non-compliant survivor. So your job is to rescue someone who is panicked, but the person panicking is really one of the most confident people in the water in the whole military. And it's just a battle. So if you don't meet the criteria and you're not doing it the right way, then you fail 3 times and you're out.
Oh, man.
So
damn.
That definitely was a bit disappointing.
Really yeah.
So dropped out of that, and then the second time through, I just had a better attitude. Where the first time my mindset was, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I need to just make it through the day. The second time, my mindset was, I'm gonna make today my bitch. I'm gonna own today. This guy next to me, he's not gonna beat me in the pool. I'm gonna beat him. So graduated that, and then ended up getting stationed in Alabama for about 4.5 years. It wasn't like the sexy Alaska Ashton Kutcher stuff. It was, dirty hurricane response, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, nasty oil rigs and sweaty fishermen. But that was pretty cool. And then after that, I figured, I could make more money and have more freedom by contracting. So joined another company doing the same kind of work called Priority 1 Air Rescue, and I've been doing that ever since.
Okay. I think you take the cake out of all the Cabana Boys for the most badass, non-Cabana Boy job.
I don't know about that. Cooper, he trades stocks, so that's pretty cool.
It's not even a comparison.
Come on.
That's so cool. I mean, I'd seen some of the pictures and your Instagram and stuff. You're just
he's a hero. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
about that.
sick. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So how'd you get involved with Cabana Boys?
So Cabana Boys was really random, actually. I was living in my camper at the time because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up or where I wanted to live. I was actually headed to California because I thought it'd be a good idea to go to school there. No, that was not a good. That did not work out. California is not nearly as cool as Arizona.
Yeah.
So I stopped in Tucson, and yeah, I just never really left. I kind of migrated around Tucson, Phoenix area, and then, did that for a couple months and then got an apartment, and now I got a house. But nice. One of my good friends that I know here, I don't know, she just found you guys on Instagram, and she's like, hey, this looks cool. You should do it. So I sent you guys a message, and you actually messaged me back, gave me, I guess you wouldn't call it an audition. It was more of an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I worked with Chase for the first time. I was super nervous, but now he showed me the ropes, and it's been a nice journey.
That's awesome, man.
This is probably one of the least stressful jobs I have or have ever had.
Yeah, being a Cabana Boy is much different than like jumping out of a helicopter and saving a non-compliant survivor.
Similar, I'd say,
Some similarities, right?
I said gear and equipment is really similar. Like as a rescue swimmer, it's really important to have the essentials. You want like a toothbrush, some hair gel. Want to make sure you have a phone charger, like
a shaker.
Yeah,
the shaker.
You never know when you need to fix your hair.
Temporary tattoos,
because you got to be picture ready anytime.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly.
All the champagne.
Rob, tell us about yourself.
Oh boy, where to start? Well, I was born in Oregon in a little town called Eugene. Yeah,
Oregon,
right? Go Ducks.
No.
And no,
you're a hippie.
You're Portland, right? Or a Beaver? Or
so I grew up in Portland.
Yeah.
Grew up a Beaver fan, and then went to USC, so I'm a Trojan.
Yeah, we say buck the Fevers. So anyways, I lived there for about 26 years, and then I decided to move to California over a girl, right? We moved to California. Of course, a year later, we break up, but I stay. And being a personal trainer and in the fitness industry, my clientele was there in the Bay Area. So it was really simple for me to basically get a job as a personal trainer at a commercial gym. And within a year, built my own clientele.
Nice.
Opened my own place and owned and operated a nice facility of about 5,000 square foot, 15 trainers for about 8 years.
Sweet.
Sold that. During that time, I also opened a nutrition store across the street, which kind of was great because they cross-promoted each other. And then kind of got fed up with California. So I chose to move to Scottsdale because a lot of my clients who were well off had secondary properties in Scottsdale. And they said, it's kind of like the Bay as far as the vibe goes and what people are into and all that stuff. But the cost of living's less. So I can tint my windows. I can carry my gun. I pay less taxes. And I like the leadership here.
A lot of pros for sure.
Yeah. So I moved here about a year ago and met Elias actually before I joined Cabana Boys, and he was one of the people who recommended that I get into that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So. Did not put me down as a referral though. Put someone down that didn't work here.
Well, it's interesting. I actually knew three guys that did Cabana Boys, and in the referral process, actually, you were the one who told me. I ended up saying two other guys.
So you heard it here. I referred him. He just
chose the wrong horse.
Eli
Rob.
was the first. I know it, man. I know it. I was on point. So Eli recommended. Met him at the gym there. We were on the bench press and that hip abduction machine.
Yeah.
What a great way to meet guys.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Good girl, bad girl machine. And he was like, "Hey, what do you do?" I said, "Personal training." He was like, "Man, you got a good look to you. You ever thought about doing, pool parties?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he described it to me. I was like, "This can't be a job, And then of course I'm like, "Well, what's it pay? Like $12 or something." He's like, "No," and the pay was great. And so I was like, "Let me get an interview." Messaged you guys, got the interview, and gosh, I think I've been doing the parties now about 4 months or something. Like that.
Yeah, fairly new, but seasoned
fairly
also.
New, but it's what's great about the Cabana Boy position is I think it's the one time a guy actually gets to feel like the attention a woman gets.
You're right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for the 2 hours, we are kind of although we put the attention on the bride and we do a magnificent job of taking care of everything, they do oogle and google over us. And, especially when we get the bride to, pull the shirt off and do a shot with them. And, they absolutely love it. They love the us waiting on them. And I think vice versa, we love the attention.
Yeah.
And to get paid to do it, it's even better.
It's a plus, right?
Absolutely.
So I heard that people call you or think that you look like a certain celebrity. Mm-hmm. I had not thought of this until someone said it, but now I can't not see it.
Yeah. It's kind of like a car crash. People are like, wait.
That's all I see.
Yeah. Lately when I'm super ripped, like I do bodybuilding competitions. And so when I'm really tanned and really, really lean and my jaw structure is, more pronounced, Dwayne Johnson, I get the rock all the time. Yeah. Matter of fact, I was working security at Wasted Grain, Old Town, Scottsdale. And I actually had to quit the job because I couldn't work because I had so many people coming up to me wanting photos constantly. I would take 20 photos a night.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
should charge
and then they want to start talking afterwards. And then of course it rolls into like, what do I eat? And then they want to get my Instagram and workout programs from me and stuff. And their mom loves The Rock, so they're sending a photo to their mom, right?
Yeah.
And but
we loved you in Jumanji.
Yeah, exactly. But lately I've been getting a cross between let's see, Dwayne Johnson and what's that other guy?
Can you do the eyebrow?
Yeah, I can. Oh, I definitely got the people's eyebrow. Yeah.
Do you smell
That The Rock is good. Shut up, bitch.
That's hilarious.
So it's a blessing and a curse. I think he was People's Magazine 2018 sexiest man on the planet.
Hey.
So to be confused with him a little bit, I tell people I'm his brother, the Pebble. Right. So
that's good.
Yes, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Right? You got one of those too, don't you?
What a celebrity look like?
No, a blessing and a curse.
Oh, I would say people, they tell me I look like Sid from Toy Story. Yeah, not the sexiest man alive.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry, but I see it.
Yeah, I understand. It is what it is.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, I'm happy to have you guys on the team. Happy to have you guys here and join us on the pod. I asked you guys to prepare a 2 truths and a lie. You guys got that ready?
I was born ready.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
If he's born ready, he needs to go first. You say something like that.
Let's see. Let's see if I can remember them. Let's see. All right, here we go. I was kidnapped in Thailand.
Whoa.
I was born with Tourette syndrome, and I have had to Uber home from cabana parties from being too intoxicated.
Oh God. I don't know if I want.
I hope I do. Yes.
So my guess is the lie is Tourette's.
No, absolutely. Born with Tourette's. I have the tattoo right here. It's like a little ribbon for it.
He controls it well.
Well, I manage it, yeah. But it'll come out a little more like after people know me, and at first, people are, what's in your eye, or it gets a little more vocal, kind of the more caffeine I have or more alcohol.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's the truth. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm hoping then the lie is that you've never had to Uber home.
I've never had to Uber home.
Let's go. Thank you, Eli.
Thank God I was kidnapped.
We don't condone that.
No, I can like laugh about it. It wasn't that bad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, tell us what was the story.
It was dumb. I think I just turned 21. I was in the military at the time, and me and some of my other swimmer friends were like, yeah, let's go to Japan and Thailand because, it'd be fun. So day one into Thailand, man, it's just everything's so cheap out there. They have these rum buckets for like $1, and there's a couple of rum buckets in, and I don't know what happened to me that night. Some of the people I'd met that night, I guess I got like so intoxicated. They said, we didn't even know you were American. We thought you were speaking another language. And because of this like vulnerability, there were some people that kind of saw that and kind of lured me off, and they took my fanny pack and some cash. But I, did nothing like
they didn't like blindfold you and throw you in a
nothing like that. I just got a little jumped.
Okay.
But
you still have both kidneys.
My kidneys are still both there, and
That's good.
It could have been much worse for sure. Which is why it's funny, I think.
Yeah. I feel like there's like a threshold of like humor in that situation.
That's how I dealt with it.
Yeah.
Well, that and more rum buckets, obviously. But no, that was the old me.
Okay. I've always wanted to go to one of those like full moon parties.
Oh, they're fun. Really? My other friend got robbed at one of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Like just got like pickpocketed, or like
it was a girl. She like came up to him and was, like dancing on him and trying to, like sway him, and he was really interested in her. And she reached her hand down his little fanny pack, unzipped it, grabbed his cash, and ran.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we're talking like $100, It's Thailand.
Yeah.
That happens in the U.S. too. Come on.
Yeah.
Just legally.
Right.
It's called girlfriend.
He was pretty bummed. He was more bummed than me. But yeah, he's still in the military, so I won't say his name.
Okay. Yeah. Protect his identity.
Yeah.
All right.
That's nice.
All right. So Rob, 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. All right. I was born in Mexico. I'm a professional bodybuilder, And I have no kids.
Well, you kind of already blew this one because you told us you were from Oregon at the beginning.
Lame.
Yeah.
Unless you were lying then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's playing the long game.
Well, maybe I moved there when I was 6 months old. So should I change up my 3 then?
Okay, if you can think of another
one. Let's see. What did I say? I said I was born in Mexico. Yeah. I have, let's see, 2 truths and a lie.
I feel like there's going to be a woman that watches this and tells you, hey, you do have a kid. This whole time.
This is actually the Maury Povich podcast now.
So, okay.
She's in the other room.
I don't have kids. I am a professional bodybuilder. Oh, wait, that's 2 truths. Hold on a second.
You're not very good at
Two
this.
truths and a lie.
And the lie is,
So now I got to switch them all up. Yeah, I'm not very good at this. So the funny thing is, I literally obsessed over this the last 2 hours.
Really?
And I had lists of truths and fallacies, and I'm like, I'm gonna get there and
Should have wrote them on your hand. That's what I did.
I know. Did you? Oh, genius, man.
Once the lights and camera are on, you just kind of...
Yeah, you're on point. Well, I had them, and then I lost them. But we can make some up right now. Let's see. Let me think of some funny ones.
How about this? You think, and we'll do a fishbowl question.
Perfect. I'll probably lose the ideas again. One for each of us, or
We'll pull one and I'll answer it.
gotcha.
You have 1 year to train. What sport do you have the best chance of making the Olympics? Oh, we're going to do bobsled racing.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, you have to be so fast, like at the beginning.
Well, I got a year.
I know, but like Olympic level.
I would probably have to join like the Jamaican team or something,
That's fair. Okay, bobsled. What about a summer sport?
Summer sport. Olympic ready. That's a tough one.
So I feel like summer's harder.
Yeah. Because all the things that I'm good at, like people are much better than me at, Like I would say swimming, but absolutely not.
There's no way.
I'm a good swimmer, but
I'm sure
I'm
you
not
are,
that
but
good.
Not like Olympic.
I feel like
actually with your background,
I think I could take any one of the Cabana Boys in a swim race,
yeah.
but that's about it.
Probably closer to a swimmer than a bobsledder, I would think, though, with your background.
Yeah.
Summer sport. No, isn't like do they have like chess as a sport now or
God, I hope not.
Speed walking.
that's one, yeah.
I think that is actually.
No, I would say I could be a
is, yeah.
speed walker. Yeah, in a year, that's a long time.
I would go with like archery.
Oh, that's a good one.
I feel like because it's not like it's definitely very difficult, but it's not like a cardiovascular or like I've got to be super strong
skill.
or it's just more of a skill.
Yeah.
I'd say that or curling is kind of a similar concept, like more of a skill than I don't need to put on a bunch of muscle or throw a shot put, something like that.
I feel like you'd be better at starting the puck or at sweeping.
I'd be a
ice.
sweeper. Yeah.
I think I'd be a good thrower or whatever they call it.
It's almost like a shuffleboard, right? It's
Yeah.
like a
My aunt and
giant
uncle,
shuffleboard.
growing up, my aunt and uncle had a long, like legit shuffleboard table. And so I'd go down there and my uncle was like very particular about the type of like wax on the top and everything.
And it's like sand too, right?
yeah.
or salt. I've seen.
I think it's salt or sand or wax. I
I
don't
never
know.
tasted it. Couldn't tell you. I will though.
Yeah. What about you, Rob?
I grew up Olympic lifting, so that kind of comes to mind, right? Of course, big guy with weights. But I do really love track and field. So
Okay.
like I did pole vault when I was in high school. and
Really?
That was just, insane. You run as fast as you can with about a 14, 15 foot long pole.
Yeah.
And, don't mess up.
Yeah, seriously.
So
I
that
feel
would
like
be cool.
There's for as great as pole vaulting is, it probably produces the most or the highest number of blooper videos of like any sport,
Yeah, I would think so. You can get shot away from the pad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
once you
it's a
put
bad
that
day.
spring in that pole, if you don't control it, it can shoot you.
That's tough
wherever.
because you have to like basically like push yourself up on the pole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, that's exactly
that sounds
right.
really challenging.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of gymnastics terms, jackknifing, and then muscling through and
Yeah.
whatever. But very cool, and they tend to say that the pole vaulter, out of all the events on the track team, that athlete who pole vaults is the most athletic. They tend to be the
Really?
the decathlete. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because the vault is part of the decathlete.
Because it's a combination of speed and like strength
Correct.
and like
agility
and moving body control and everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Huh, interesting. Well, a good thing we don't. None of us have a shot at any of these sports.
Exactly.
So
That
I would
question
tear
gave
me.
me instant anxiety.
Yeah, exactly.
But I saw something on social media a couple weeks ago. There was like a track athlete, and I don't know what country it was, some Middle Eastern country, where like they sent a woman to run, and she was like 10 seconds behind everybody on like the 100-meter dash. And there was like what is going on here? Like this person should not be in like the world championships or whatever event it was. And like the prime minister of this country was like, we're so sorry. Like this was a mistake. She has brought disgrace on our country. It's like,
Oh, wow.
yikes. Like it's
She
your
must have
fault,
a
dude.
rich daddy in politics that got her in there or something.
Yeah, it was a little weird. So, all right, next question. Rob, you want to pull it?
All right. Yep. Let's do it. Let's see here. Would you rather... You said no raunchy stuff. Would you rather fart every time you sneeze or sneeze every time you fart?
I wasn't sure if I was going to include this one.
Of course, if we pulled it today.
Of course
right?
we did. Yeah.
No pun intended. Well, I don't fart that much, so I'd rather sneeze every time I fart.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Protein shakes.
Honestly, I like sneezing, and I feel like I would fart more in a day than sneezing. So I would want to have the gift of sneezing every time I farted. I would like eat like certain foods to like chase it, and be like a high.
It's like farting's not so bad when I get to enjoy a sneeze.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's kind of like double farting. It's like a fart out your mouth.
Like when I drive, I look at the sun just to make myself sneeze. Just for the rush.
Does that make anyone else sneeze?
For the rush.
Does that
Yeah,
make you
well,
sneeze
you gotta
when you
look at it
the
just so
sun?
you gotta side eye it.
It's you don't like
a
look
technique.
directly at the sun. Like
And it does that though?
Yeah.
It's got
It takes
so
years
weird.
of
So think about
practice.
like if
Some people it doesn't.
yeah, so if you're maybe in a movie theater and then you like walk outside and it's sunny, a lot of people will sneeze.
My eyes water. Like when I get
Yeah.
that real bright white concrete and almost like don't need my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Rather than sneezing, I feel like my eyes just start watering.
Eli the rush.
It's a defense mechanism.
That sounds
The Rock
extremely
cries.
disappointing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just gonna load up on like beans and dairy and
Taco Bell twice a week. No, twice a day probably.
Imagine.
It'd become an addiction.
I would rather fart every time I sneeze because I feel like you can hide it better.
I don't care about hiding
interesting.
it. At that point, I have selfish reasons,
All right, I'm gonna pull one.
He claims it.
You own that.
That's creative.
Thanks.
This would be like a good first date idea.
Yeah, I don't know about that question. But all right, what is your earliest memory of this job?
That's a good question.
Eli.
Well, I mean,
You're probably gonna have more experience than me on this.
I mean, I remember my first party pretty well. It was with Chase, and I guess my first like impression or memory was like, wow, this guy has a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I feel like I wish I had that much energy. He's just so smooth, like with his jokes, his words, like
his dancing.
his flow.
he's a pro for sure.
Yeah,
yeah,
There's a reason I think he's the head Cabana boy.
yeah. I agree with that. Okay.
And I thought it made a good impression of like setting the standard of kind of like, you should be yourself, obviously, but also this is kind of the standard we
within
want.
these constraints. Yeah, yeah. I like that, Rob.
Well, I remember my first party. It wasn't that long ago. So I remember, working with, let's see, who was I with there? I was with Eric, and we're making the shots in the kitchen, and he's training me, right? And so the girls are outside waiting to be surprised. And we count up the head count, and it's 11 or 12 girls, and he makes a couple extra, and I'm like, there's 2 extra ones. What are those for? I was like, oh, we're going to take them. We can take shots with chicks and celebrate. I'm like, wait a second. We can take a shot on the clock.
He's like, in the handbook, you're not supposed to.
And so essentially we go out there and we cheers the bride. And I was like, this is the best job in the world. You know, I could take a shot with everybody. And of course, I was the only one we took, but look to the left means you're lying.
Obviously.
But yeah, I was like, what, man, once again, this can't be a real job. You get to have a good time and party with a group of women who are more than happy to have you there.
That's actually very similar to my first memory because I was there at the beginning, And at the time, our first party was it was with just one of my buddies. So it wasn't like an employee. He was just kind of helping me out at the beginning. And so we went to this like super nice house up in North Scottsdale. It was like a bunch of girls from New Jersey or something like that. They were great. They were super, super nice. And when I got home, my roommate at the time, I told him how the party went. And he's like, dude, you just got paid to do everything you just said you did? I was like, oh, when you put it that way, like that was a pretty great time. So yeah, it's obviously like, times have changed a little bit. We have a lot of standards in place now than we didn't 3 years ago. But yeah, man, it's a pretty ideal job, I think.
Was that when you saw the dream? Was when your buddy was like, wait a second, do you realize what you just did?
Yeah, I think.
Like, oh my God, I'm onto something here.
I think initially the first probably like 10 to 15 parties when you guys probably still experience this. Like girls are like, how long have you been doing this? And like, do you guys really like get paid to do this? And like that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Once you get enough of that, it's like, all right, maybe this is like something, Right. This is like, maybe this has some legs. It can actually like go somewhere. So I'm not the first person to invent like a guy serving drinks, obviously,
sure.
But I think it's just marketing and
it's
how
unique.
You frame it.
It's unique.
What do you think 10-year-old Nelson would say if he could look into the future today?
Oh, man. Well, a 10-year-old Nelson, yeah, if he saw me today, he probably was like, why are you not a pilot? Or like, why are you not an architect? Yeah. But I think that he would probably be like, appreciative of how fun of a time that we're having here. So,
well, I mean, you guys did do on a busy week, like 50 parties in Scottsdale or something? Right?
Yeah, I think our peak in Scottsdale was either 52 or 54 parties in one weekend.
A lot of happy women, man. That's like 500 to 1,000 women, right?
It's
serviced.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I think, how many parties we've done over the last 3 years and, how many.
I mean, being a pilot's cool, but buying a plane is cool too.
I know. Yeah. I know.
I know pilots
got to
can buy
a
planes.
Cabana Boy private jet.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think we
it's
got a little
business expense. Put a logo on it, right?
We got a little ways to go.
Well, you can finance them.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more quick one.
All right.
Who pulled that one?
I pulled it last one.
Yeah.
Or wait, you pulled? Yes, Eli.
This one's handwritten.
Ooh.
What's the best $100 I've ever spent? Oh, that's a good question. I could be more creative, but honestly, like I'm gonna go with food. Like I've
really
had some $100, or $100 plus even like tabs at like some nice steak restaurants.
Okay.
That's money well spent.
Any one in particular?
I just went to Benihana.
Oh,
I did some damage there. That was not a cheap dinner.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, I would really recommend. They don't pay me to say that. It was my first time ever getting hibachi too, because I never.
Have you never seen an onion volcano before?
No, it was my first time. It was
wow. This was recently?
Yeah, this was like 2 weeks ago with my dad.
All right.
Yeah, that was. Man,
was your mind just blown?
The whole time. The service was incredible.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that is a fun experience. Yeah.
You didn't have to wait for anything. As soon as your drink was almost gone, there was just another one. I'm like, wow,
this place is magic.
And then I realized you had to pay for it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's all right.
My favorite part about Benihana is like there's some like the onion volcano is like the same thing every time, but each chef has like their own flair, And so they got like different tricks they can pull out.
I would say like he's probably good enough to be a comedian, but he also can cook really well. So he went,
There's a new trend where people are doing that as like a rental service. They'll do it in your backyard now.
They have to bring a grill or what?
Yeah, they bring like the whole setup, and they're like squirting sake in your mouth and stuff. It looks really fun.
They had the fake bottle too that they kept spraying. It got me every time.
Yeah,
that's funny.
All right, Rob, what's your $100 best expense?
Like investment or like what I spent $100 on? Let's see here. I mean, Eli really, I think they say the fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right?
Yeah.
So food really, I mean, I do like quality food, but I am a meathead, and so I do like purchasing protein powders and supplements and stuff that help me in the gym. But other than that, I'd be closed. I can't think of one thing specifically.
I got the 25-pound bag of weight gainer.
Exactly, at Costco.
Yeah. That's the good stuff.
I'll give you mine.
Yeah, there you go.
And no disrespect to either of you or you, Ted, if you don't have TSA pre-check, I think there's something wrong.
Well, here, I'll one better you. Do you have clear?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to book
How much
more
do you pay for
parties,
that?
man.
Yeah.
You got to risk your life for that one, though.
No, that's if you have American Express, it's free.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't actually spend the money on TSA PreCheck. It was like a free thing on my credit card, but
Worth it.
it was like, even if I had to pay for it, I don't understand when I go to the airport and people are like standing in the regular line. I was like, guys, it's not that expensive.
$85 for 5 years.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, it takes me half the amount of time. I don't have to pull out my laptop. Don't have to take off my shoes. It's just like mind boggling to me.
There's a value there for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I got one. So I do appreciate nice hotels.
Okay.
Right. So what I do, I've got this little trick. I book online at like Travelocity or Expedia. They're not paying me to say that. And I buy like the basic room. And then when I get there, I go through this whole, do you guys have any upgrades available? I'll pay additional. And I remember I was staying in Vegas at Vidara, which has no gaming.
Right.
And it's a lot of condos.
Yep. Next to Aria, right?
Yeah, right next to Aria. Yeah. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And for $178 or something, I had booked a regular room, and then for about $100, I got an upgrade. They put me on the top floor in like a penthouse.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was like wall to wall glass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, giant kitchen.
For $100.
For
Wow.
Well, it was $100 extra, so it was like almost $300 for the night.
Yeah, worth it.
But that same room, I remember looking, it was like $500 or $600 when I was booking it online. So sometimes they're able, maybe they like the way I smiled at them or something.
I think they gave it to you because they thought you were The Rock.
It could have been. I do remember something happened that I wanted an upgrade, and then they had all their moderate upgrades like already taken, and they were like, "Oh, we'll do something extra special for you. We'll give you just the penthouse or something." I don't know. So that was probably my best $100 spent.
I like
that. I actually really truly appreciated.
Yeah. Welcome to Vidara, Mr. Johnson.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what. I stay there every time I go now. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, because
repeat customer.
That's right. That's how
awesome.
you get business.
Well, Rob, Eli, thanks so much for coming on. Happy to have you guys on the team, and
Likewise,
this was super fun. So thank you again, and thank you guys for listening and watching.
Yep.
See y'all soon.
Thank you for listening to the Cabana Boys Podcast. Please like and subscribe to get new episodes as they're released. Write to the show by sending an email to thecabanaboyspodcast@gmail.com. You can find the video version of the show on YouTube at the Cabana Boys YouTube channel. The Cabana Boys and all other related brands are also on Instagram and TikTok at Cabana Boys Podcast, The Cabana Boys, The Cocktail Cowboys, and The Cocktail Boys.